Welcome to the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast for Monday, February 23, 2026. We created this podcast specifically for alternative and Tier 2 sports leagues, teams, competitions, and the athletes who compete in them.
And it is really great to be back doing this. I'm the resident industry analyst here, and we have a massive stack of intel to get through today.
I am your host, and we certainly do. You and I actually just got out of a briefing with Bryce, and honestly, the mood in that room was
Urgent. I mean, it was definitely urgent.
Highly urgent. It feels like the whole landscape isn't just shifting right now, it's breaking apart and reforming right in front of us. So here's what you, as a listener, need to have top of mind.
Yeah, we've analyzed over 60 articles and data references to build this deep dive today, pulling from The Athletic, Sports Pro, Government UK, and a whole host of other industry monitors.
Right, and our mission for this deep dive is pretty specific. We aren't here to just read off headlines about the NFL or the Premier League. We want to translate those behemoth trends into actionable plans for the up-and-coming leagues, the endurance events, and the niche sports creators who are listening to us right now.
Because it really is an adapt or die moment for the Tier 2 ecosystem. The money is moving.
It is. So let's start with the heavy stuff, the money. Specifically, the betting money. We have reports coming out of The Athletic and Government UK indicating that the UK government is planning a hard sponsorship ban on unlicensed betting operators.
Right. And I know what some of our listeners in the US or Asia might be thinking right now. You're thinking, I run a pickleball league in Florida, or I'm a triathlete in California. Why do I care about a UK law?
Yeah, why does it matter?
But that's a really dangerous assumption to make, because the betting economy in Tier 2 sports has historically been built on what we call the gray market.
Right. These are the offshore operators. They might be based in Curacao or Malta.
Exactly. And they have massive marketing budgets. They love niche sports because the ad rates are cheap and the fans are incredibly passionate. But here's the catch. They don't always have a license in every specific jurisdiction where they advertise.
So they operate in that legal gray area. They have cash, they want visibility, and for a long time, smaller leagues they just took the check.
They did. But the UK is effectively the global bellwether for gambling regulation. If the UK cracks down on unlicensed visibility, these global operators get spooked.
Right.
They do not want to risk their whitelist status in other lucrative markets, so they pull back their spend.
So the easy cash spigot just gets turned off globally, almost overnight.
Exactly. Turns regulatory risk into a commercial variable. If you are a niche league relying on an offshore betting sponsor today, you are suddenly very vulnerable.
And for athletes doing influencer campaigns, it's even riskier. Let's drill into that. If I'm an athlete listening to this deep dive right now, and I have a patch on my jersey or a link in my bio for a betting site, what is my move today?
You need to audit your partnerships immediately. Look at exactly who is paying you. If a betting partner looks unlicensed, or if they operate entirely offshore without a clear license for your specific region, you need to pause that promotion.
Because the legal and reputational risk is rising fast. You do not want to be the face of a brand that gets slapped with a government ban.
Precisely. And for the leagues and teams listening, you have a bigger job. You need to map all your betting deals right now. If the license status is unclear, you need to brief your legal team on a replacement category plan.
Right. You can't just wait for the letter from the regulator to show up. You need to be pivoting your pitch decks now.
Because if that betting money goes away, who fills the void? You should be looking at fintech, AI, or health tech brands. Those are sectors that still have venture cash and are looking for that same male-skewed, data-driven demographic that betting usually buys.
That's a really smart pivot. And speaking of pivoting to different types of capital, there was a headline that really caught my eye involving USA Archery.
Yeah, the Bluestone Equity Partners deal.
Yeah. This was reported by USA Archery directly. They've signed a 3-year partnership with Bluestone. Now, we usually associate institutional private equity with the NBA or massive soccer conglomerates.
Right.
But here we have institutional capital entering a niche Olympic sport ahead of LA 2028.
It's a huge signal. And reading through the details of the source, it confirms something we've suspected for a while. This deal isn't just about writing a check to keep the lights on for the Federation.
No, Bluestone is bringing, and I quote, commercial strategy and content resources. That's the key phrase there.
It is. And for an endurance property or a niche league, this is the new model. You aren't just selling a logo placement anymore. You are looking for a partner who can help you build an infrastructure to monetize your content.
It reminds me of how tech startups pitch VCs. You aren't pitching your current revenue, you're pitching your growth engine. And in this case, the growth engine is content.
Exactly. Bluestone isn't banking on selling out archery stadiums. They are banking on the content IP. They want to own the stories leading up to the LA 2028 Olympics.
So if you're an athlete in a federation like this totally changes your job description, doesn't it? You aren't just a competitor.
You are a content asset,
Hmm.
period. If I were an athlete today, I'd be drafting a content menu to hand to my federation.
A content menu. Walk me through what that looks like.
It's a list of deliverables. Don't just go to them and say, I'll post on Instagram. Be highly specific. Tell them, I can provide 5 behind-the-scenes technique explainers. I can give you raw audio logs from my training camp. I can wear a mic during warm-ups.
You're making it incredibly easy for them to package you. You're saying, here is the inventory you need to satisfy that private equity investor.
Bingo. You facilitate the deal. You become the asset they are investing in.
And for the leagues listening to this,
Do not just pitch ticket sales. List 3 investors or funds that are active in the creator economy. Prepare a pitch deck that focuses entirely on your content IP library. That is what equity partners want right now.
which brings us perfectly to the distribution side of that content. Moving on to media rights. This is usually where the Tier 2 sports feel entirely squeezed out. You either get zero coverage or you pay for a terrible time slot.
Yeah, but we're seeing a massive shift there too.
We are. The Mountain West Conference just announced their new media rights package according to a release from the Mountain West via Perplexity.
This is a textbook example of the new hybrid model.
Right, they've got the legacy partners, CBS, FOX, the CW, which gives them that big league credibility, but they also brought in Kissway.
And Kissway is the differentiator here.
For those who haven't tracked them, Kissway isn't just a streaming bucket. They are a tech platform specifically built for interactivity.
Right. So the Mountain West didn't just sell rights to a broadcaster to blast a signal out into the void. They partnered with a tech platform that allows for live chat, watch parties, and alternative fan feeds.
We also saw Sports Illustrated reporting that MLB is expanding its digital presence with Netflix and Roku. It feels like every smart property is fragmenting their rights.
They are. And here is where it gets really actionable for alternative sports. Tier 2 used to mean digital, only because you literally couldn't get on TV. Now, you don't actually want to be just on TV. You want a portfolio.
You want the reach of broadcast, but the engagement of digital.
Exactly. You want the credibility of a broadcast partner, sure, but you need the interactivity of a streamer to actually engage the community. If you lock yourself into one exclusive broadcaster who puts you behind a paywall and forgets about you, you die.
That's the nightmare scenario. You get the rights check, but you lose the entire audience pipeline.
Precisely. So carve out special events. Maybe your championship is on linear TV, but your qualifiers are on an interactive stream where fans can chat and vote.
Okay, let's get tactical for the listeners. If I'm running a league, maybe a mid-sized rugby league or a cycling series, what's my move today based on this?
You need to assign an internal head of content and interactivity.
A totally new role.
It could be a part-time role or someone already on your team. But their specific job is to map out exactly where fan vote features or creator co-streams fit into your 2026 season.
The creator co-stream is such low-hanging fruit. Just let a YouTuber commentate your game on their own channel.
It costs you nothing and brings their audience directly to your product.
And for competitions.
Add a page to your sponsor deck explicitly pricing out interactive digital experiences. Sell the ability to sponsor the live chat host. Sell the Fan Pulse overlay. That is an upsell that didn't exist 5 years ago, and brands absolutely love it because it's highly measurable.
And for the athletes, this is a huge opportunity for discovery. If the stream is interactive, you can actually convert those viewers.
Huge. If you're on these interactive broadcasts, fans are going to be looking for you. Set up a consistent call to action, a newsletter, a Discord server. Capture those fans the exact moment they discover you on the stream.
That transitions perfectly into our next segment, the creator economy. Because honestly, looking at these sources, it feels like we are moving from the creator economy being a nice to have to it being the core strategy.
It really is a whole playbook now. The headline that jumped out at me was from Digiday. Over 10,000 creators applied to Dick's Sporting Goods Creator Program.
10,000. That is a staggering number.
And look at who they want. They aren't just looking for the quarterback of the Chiefs. They are pivoting to everyday athletes. They want niche sports, running, soccer, daily training.
This is a massive psychological shift for big retail. It used to be all about aspiration, be like Mike. Now it feels like it's entirely about relatability.
It is.
Yeah.
Brands have realized that they're totally comfortable working with long-tail disciplines like trail running or obstacle course racing if those athletes can generate repeatable video formats.
Repeatable formats, that's the key there, right? Not just one viral hit.
Exactly. Can you make a Training Tuesday series? Can you do a Gear Review Friday on TikTok or Reels? They want micro communities, not just a flashy 30-second TV spot.
We also saw a story from Tube Filter about Creator Camp launching an in-house agency, and another really fascinating piece from the Youth Sports Business Report regarding the Unibet Rose Rockets.
That YouTube story is critical. The Rose Rockets are a cycling team, but they are essentially trying to be the sidemen of cycling.
I saw that. They are using a joint YouTube channel to build the brand rather than waiting for race coverage to magically pick them up.
And that is the insight for our listeners. You do not need a TV deal to build a global audience anymore. Niche sports can turn YouTube into their own development league. You can build the fan base before you even win the race.
So let's break down the action plan here. Athletes, listen up. Simply being fast isn't enough anymore.
No, you need to draft a one-page creator resume.
What exactly goes on that?
Not your race results. I want to see your audience demographics. Who follows you? Is it 18 to 34-year-olds? I want to see your affiliate sales numbers. I linked these socks and sold 50 pairs. Apply to a retailer program like Dick's Today with that data. Treat yourself like a media channel.
And for competitions?
You need to create a creator track for your next race. Don't just give out press passes to traditional journalists. Give creator credentials to athlete creators. Give them a content brief. Tell them, if you race, we want 3 reels, and here are the assets you can use.
And for teams, because I feel like teams often really struggle with consistency on platforms like YouTube.
They do. So claim and optimize your official channel today. But more importantly, commit to a schedule. The algorithm punishes inconsistency. If you are a Tier 2 soccer team or a rugby club, you need a weekly upload. Game highlights, My Step features.
I love the idea of the My Step feature. It costs almost nothing, just a GoPro and a lapel mic, and fans eat it up.
Because it humanizes the athletes. That's what people are buying. They buy characters.
Let's zoom out a bit and talk about tech and AI. We saw a report from Ampere Analysis and Sports Pro stating that Formula One sponsorship is set to exceed $3 billion in 2026.
A truly staggering number.
Now I know what the listeners are thinking. We aren't F1. We don't have Ferraris.
Right. But why is F1 getting that money? It's driven by AI and tech players. And what do AI companies want?
They want data to train their models or to prove their models work in the real world.
Exactly. F1 produces terabytes of data every second. But here's the application for Tier 2 and endurance sports. You generate data too. Heart rate, power output, speed, recovery metrics. You are essentially a biological data factory.
So the lesson is that tech brands pay premiums for data validation.
Correct. So if you're an endurance athlete or a team, build a data plus content sponsorship sheet. Show off your wearable data. Pitch yourself to a tech startup as a testbed for their technology.
Say, sponsor me, and you get full access to my training data to prove your product works in the field.
Exactly. It moves the conversation from brand awareness, which is soft, to product validation, which actually comes from the R&D budget. And R&D budgets are often way bigger than marketing budgets.
That is such a smart pivot. Now, this next trend is, well, it's a little complex, but we have to talk about it because it affects the entire pipeline. The Wall Street Journal and Buying Sandlot reported on the holdback trend.
Yeah, this is a heavy one. We are seeing more families holding their kids back a year, literally repeating 8th grade, specifically for an athletic advantage.
Making them the oldest, biggest kid in the class. And the motivation here isn't just getting into college anymore, is it?
No, it's future NIL prospects. It's the professionalization of youth sports creeping earlier and earlier. The insight here is that the motivations for youth sports are shifting toward a highly business-minded approach.
So if you run a developmental league or a youth organization, you just can't ignore this.
You have to acknowledge it. You have to be prepared for a much more business-minded conversation with the parents of young prospects.
Yeah.
They aren't just asking, will my kid have fun? They are asking, how does this league position my kid for an NIL deal in 4 years?
That's a massive shift. But it aligns with everything we've talked about today. The creator resume, the content menu, everyone is thinking like a business unit.
Even down to the middle school level. It's just the reality of the 2026 sports economy.
Let's lighten it up a bit with some global event takeaways. The Winter Olympics just wrapped up. We saw the Athletic Games briefing and the GIS covering the USA men's hockey gold.
An incredible game. beating Canada in overtime.
But what struck me was the content that came out of it, specifically Jack Hughes.
The toothless smile.
That image was everywhere. It went viral instantly.
And that's the lesson, even at the absolute pinnacle of sport, the Olympics. The currency is the viral moment. It wasn't just the stat sheet, it was the visual of the grit. If you were a photographer for a Tier 2 league, stop taking photos of the scoreboard. Take photos of the emotion.
And on the sustainability front, Italy delivered a very sustainable games. I read about closing ceremony costumes made entirely of recycled jeans.
Yes. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's baked into the event production. For our listeners running events, think about that. How can you integrate sustainability into your story? Because it attracts sponsors.
And finally, a quick hit from Published Press on creator product integration. PepsiCo launched flavor-swapped chips
Featuring Dude Perfect.
on a bag of Ruffles.
This brings us full circle to the creator economy. Mainstream CPG brands, consumer packaged goods, are putting creators on packaging right alongside traditional athletes.
So if you're a niche athlete, your competition for that chip bag endorsement isn't just LeBron James anymore. It's a guy on YouTube doing trick shots.
Or you look at it as an opportunity. It's the future of monetization for you. If you build that audience, you become the face on the packaging. This is the future for athlete monetization in alternative sports.
Yeah.
You don't need to be on NBC to be on a bag of chips. You need to be on TikTok.
So what does this all mean? Let's recap the mission of this deep dive today.
The mission is clear. The old guard TV contracts, gray market betting sponsors, that world is changing or shrinking. The new world is about owning your data, diversifying your media into interactive streams, and treating every single athlete and team as a content creator first.
You need to move away from unlicensed betting partners before they get banned. You need to embrace hybrid media rights to ensure you're actually discoverable. And you need to start pitching your data to tech companies.
And frankly, you need to start acting like a media company today, whether you are a league of 10 teams or a single athlete training for a triathlon.
Before we sign off, I want to leave the listener with a final thought to chew on. You brought up the holdback trend in youth sports, and we talked about YouTube being a development league.
Right.
So here's the question I want you, the listener, to consider. If we combine those two trends, are we moving toward a world where a 14-year-old athlete's content strategy is actually more valuable to a scout or a sponsor than their game stats? That is a terrifying and exciting thought. If the kid has 100,000 subscribers, does the batting average even matter?
It completely changes the definition of talent, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Something to mull over as you audit your sponsor decks this week. See you on the next deep dive.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Daily Sports Content Economy Podcast. If you're ready to build your content media empire, we should probably talk. Visit rootgroupmarketing.com. Thanks for watching and listening.